What's up? Eggman's got another crazy scheme, and we saw some mysterious girl. Things are starting to get interesting, eh, Tails? Idle hands can be a dangerous thing, Sonic!
Suddenly, Tails. We just went through 2 stages, a cutscene, a boss fight, and another cutscene, and I had no idea Tails was with Sonic.
First of all, he wasn't with Sonic. Sonic's meeting up with Tails right now. You want to know how I know this? In most of the boss fights, Tails is cheering you on in the bottom screen. But when you fight the first boss for the first time, he's not there. Second, that Tails voice is getting 10 sins every time it rears its ugly head. At least for the first time in every video. I mean, seriously, I can do a better Tails voice than that. Idle hands can be a dangerous thing, Sonic. This ultimate power that Eggman spoke of. I wonder what kind of power he was talking about. That sounded nothing like Tails. Well, would you take it over Charrie's? Absolutely. Then I did my job.
Well, you get a minus point for pointing to Tails is not in the battle scene. But you get 10 cents for, well, salting about Charrie's tail voice acting. And yes, Sheriff also had top run. But he admitted that he's not good with the female voices. Keyword, female voice acting. And you know why Tails sound like that? Because he's voiced by the female kid. So, yeah. You are marking Charrie's attempt to voice Tails.
You won't escape this time, Eggman. Hey, what's so funny?
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have laughed, but you're so cruel. You taunt me by not using my full title.
What? Are you out of your mind, Eggman?
There you go again. But in the end, you will be destroyed by Dr. Eggman Nega.
Whoa, what's this guy's name again?
Dr. Eggman Nega.
Oh, thank God. I was this close to getting demonetized.
So you've gone from not knowing what racist means to joking about racial slurs. Really shows what you think is comedy. Besides, the slur you're talking about sounds more like Tigger than Nega.
Tony, I think it's not the word that Charlie is triggered by it. It's the pronunciation that he's triggered by it. I mean, who knows? Maybe he had a Twitter at some point and almost got cancelled by that word. You know, because the pronunciation sounds offensive.
So, have you discovered anything interesting, Tails? I don't believe it! Sonic! Something's wrong with the space-time continuum! What? There's a tear in the space-time continuum! And it's expanding! If it continues to expand, the fabric of reality will become altered!
How the fuck do you possibly know that? This happens several times in the future, but technically this has never happened before. Why would you have studied the space-time continuum, and how would you quantify a tear of it, let alone detect it?
Well, the Chaos Emeralds are capable of warping space and time. It would make sense at this point for Tails to have made a machine for him to study this kind of thing.
Well, gotta give you credit for it. It's true that the Chaos Emeralds and maybe Soul Emeralds had the ability to warp space and time. It could be possible they can do that as well.
If you're looking for Cream, you just missed her.
I wonder where she went.
She's out with a new friend. I don't recall her name, but she had an interesting purple outfit.
So you just let your 6-year-old daughter hang out with random strangers she meets whose names you don't even bother learning?
Yeah. Granted, Vanilla could be a little more cautious, but she did talk with Blaze for a little bit. If she really didn't trust Blaze, she wouldn't have let Cream go with her.
You know, this is a part where Shuttle would be here, and said Vanilla would be great at the final Lantern Core of Love for that, but, you know, I can't find him for no reason. But still.
I know this is a video game world where things aren't supposed to make sense. In fact, there are a lot of people who try to use the logic of illogicality to defend certain games as if the whole basis for the series wasn't to nitpick and have fun. But in this world, where a supersonic blue hedgehog that defeats an old scientist robots going into different dimensions to get supercharged Jolly Ranchers, somehow the thing I find hardest to believe is that the people in charge of hanging up the neon signs in this carnival town would bother to make neon signs for the purple firebending princess cat from yet another dimension that showed up like this morning. How do they even know her name?
The whole purpose of this series is to nitpick and have fun. Yeah, sure, keep telling yourself that. In any case, this is a case where you just need to suspend your disbelief. There's no in-universe reason for it, and not having an answer doesn't impact the game positively or negatively. In other words, this is Casino Night Zone again, only people care even less. Also, referring to the Chaos Emeralds as Jolly Ranchers. That's worth these many sins.
Okay, one, you should have seen remove this scene because the website did point out that the people in the city know Sonic but doesn't know Blaze, which doesn't make sense why they had Blaze on the billboard. And second of all,
Either way, it was a joke, you.
Have you decided you want to watch Rick and Morty?
Knuckles,
With me?
I've decided
Yes?
to end your life.
What does that mean? Wait.
Alright, back to what I was doing.
Knuckles, how'd you wind up getting stuck here?
Ugh, my head. What? It was because of her! Okay, who had pronoun game for everything wrong with bingo?
I did, and it's right next to the tired old joke square.
Tony making a joke while insult Charlie at the same time cliche.
Have you decided you want to watch Rick and Morty?
Knuckles,
With me?
I've decided
Yes?
to end your life.
What does that mean? Wait.
Alright, back to what I was doing.
Not to mention, why would we continue down this path? Knuckles neither confirmed nor denied where Blaze and Cream were, so why is our first assumption that she's on a battleship in the middle of the ocean? And hell, why do we go to that little island at all? There's no level there and we hardly look around. We could have reached Huge Crisis Zone from Night Carnival Zone. And okay, let's say there was a point to going to this island where Knuckles is. Given the fact that we don't explore the place at all, how are the rocks blocking our way? The next place we go is in the middle of the ocean, meaning either we get there by running on water or we didn't get there on foot at all, probably taking the tornado, so who gives a shit if the road is blocked? We can go around the island!
There's one incy-weensy yet ever so crucial little tiny detail that destroys all three of your points. The characters do not know where they're going to end up. Only you do, and that's because you're the player. Sonic and Tails are searching everywhere they can for Blaze and Cream. None of them can see the future like we as players can. Sure, the Sonic series does dabble in meta nature, but it's not to the extreme like other meta games. Plus, the rocks are only blocking that particular path they were on. Tails even says to turn back and find another path. You're not as smart as you think you're being.
Okay, you got a point about the Charlie did not notice that Tails just said turn around. But did you forget you mentioned this?
Well, the Chaos Emeralds are capable of warping space and time. It would make sense at this point for Tails to have made a machine for him to study this kind of thing. It would make sense at this point for Tails to have made a machine for him to study this kind of thing.
It would make sense at this point for Tails to have made a machine for him to study this kind of thing.
Pay attention while you're scripting.
Have you decided you want to watch Rick and Morty?
Knuckles,
With me?
I've decided
Yes?
to end your life.
What does that mean? Wait.
Alright, back to what I was doing.
It looks like there's something odd here.
Really, Sonic? There's something odd here? Understatement of the fucking century.
Charriii5's characterization cliche.
Tony doesn't answer the sin cliche.
Wait, why would we go to Altitude Limit Zone? That's not where Blaze is heading. In fact, she's going to Huge Crisis name in my autobiography, so we should head back to the battleship.
Unnecessary and unfunny joke is unnecessary and unfunny.
Okay, Tony just be calling me because there's no joke in that scene. Where you get the joke from? Because of high states? Or what?
Sonic, why don't we ask Amy about Eggman and Blaze? Sure. Amy, have you seen Eggman or a cat girl named Blaze? A girl? Please tell me what Sonic needs from this cat girl?
Considering that cat girls are commonly thought of as half human, half cat, and that Sonic may or may not have had a thing for Elise being himself an animal, and that humans who are into cat girls are called furries, would that make Sonic a skinny? No, that doesn't sound right. Whatever, I hate this game for making me say the shit that just came out of my mouth.
Wow, even Charrie's admitting his own sex jokes are gross, and the only one who makes you say that shit is you, not the game.
Tony, it's not a sex joke. It's a question. And question need answers. And you should answer him.
So, I've been ignoring the text that appears at the beginning of an act just because I thought it didn't really say anything or that it just said Sonic Rush a bunch of times or something. But upon closer inspection, it looks like it says, use the wind, Sonic is the usually of to sound. Sonic is the usually of to sound.
I honestly have no idea what that says, but what I do know is that no one cares and that Charrie's singing is awful.
Okay, 1. I do care. Because I look it up and it's this. Which, this shows that you should look it up. What is? You should answer Charrie's answer. Questions. And 2, Charrie's awful singing voice? Really? Really? It would make sense if Charrie actually did that. But his voice is perfect. Why is it that? Oh, that's right. The barman pointed out that Charlie had an awful voice in. Except, that makes sense because Jeremy had an awful voice that should be hell. While Charlie is graceful and beautiful. I'm not saying I am gay or something, but still.
You might know everything I'm going to do, but that's not going to help you since I know everything you're going to do. Strange, isn't it? Yeah!
This was the meme I was referring to in my video on Sonic bosses. And now you know why I didn't quote it.
Have you decided you want to watch Rick and Morty?
Knuckles,
With me?
I've decided
Yes?
to end your life.
What does that mean? Wait.
Alright, back to what I was doing.
This attack fucking sucks. It's random as hell and I can never tell how far to move before I get hit. And not if, but when you get hit and lose your rings, you're gonna want to get them back to survive, but you're only gonna get hit by the laser again once you recollect the rings, meaning they're gonna scatter even farther than they did the first time, leading you to just get zucked by this attack every other time it happens in this fight. Not to mention this attack too, which, while not as bad as the one I just talked about, is still really hard to avoid. I wouldn't say f this fight because it's really only the pink lasers that give me issues, but they're both so bad on their own, they deserve a sin each.
Agreed for both of them. I swear, on the rare occasion that I do survive those attacks, it's only by the skin of my teeth.
Ah, yes.
Did Sonic get possessed by a demon? How the hell is his head turned back like this?
He may be anthropomorphic, but he's not human.
And Sonic is not a bush babies. And yes, bush babies can turn their head 180 degrees. I'm not joking. But anyway, hey, sorry about the cut right here. While I research about bush babies can turn their head 180 degrees turn, I also discovered that humans also can do that, so yeah, this is just a sin for not research that humans also can do that as well. Which is yikes.
Sarah Hudson? You mean Bella Hudson? The American actress whose name you shouldn't have had to translate from Japanese to English because 4Kids should have given you the list of actors' names and not Dimps or Seg of Japan? I mean, fuck's sake, the Spanish translator for this game has an accent in her name, and you got that right? That shit doesn't even exist in Japanese.
Typos are not and will not be sins.
Yes, it is. Why? Because that's the fault of 4Kids. You know, the company that's infamous for having bad dub. The same people who had jelly-filled donut in the Pokemon episode instead of a rice ball. That people. So, yeah. Charlie Sin on the voice actor's name prom is a good idea. So you get these many sins for wasting your time involving dub proms.
What's this? What's happened to me? The Stolen World
Obviously, that makes the most sense, but why would you immediately assume a different dimension? Have you been all over the world in your dimension? Why do you default to that just because you don't recognize where you are?
Did you not see her recall the events that led up to this point? If she got engulfed in a light and ended up somewhere foreign, it's understandable why she would assume that she ended up in a different dimension. Plus, we find out in Rush Adventure that Blaze's world is mostly islands. Sonic's world has continents.
Good idea, Tony. Still, don't forget about the dub thing. But still.
Have you decided you want to watch Rick and Morty?
Knuckles,
With me.
I've decided
Yes?
to end your life.
What does that mean? Wait.
Alright, back to what I was doing.
Remember what I said about Night Carnival Zone having the neon signs with Blaze's name on them? In a fictional world where the passage of time is difficult to determine, I guess I can see these people making the signs and putting them up by the time Sonic gets there. I mean, it's the 4th zone he goes to in his story. But for Blaze, it makes even less sense because this is the first zone she goes to after getting here, so not even Cream knew her yet.
Charriii sins the same thing twice, cliche.
That's ironic coming from you.
Return the Soul Emeralds! They must return to my world. Otherwise...
You mean these pretty little things?
Okay, I joke about the Chaos Emeralds being Jolly Ranchers of power, but the Soul Emeralds straight up look like candy, or like an antacid tablet.
Calling the Soul Emeralds, which are cut in the shape of an actual emerald, antacid tablets. That's worth double.
Tony Avatar on a screen cliche.
But how am I supposed to find the other 6? And where on earth am I?
Alright, hold up. So, that expression is interesting because when we say where on earth is this, we're typically referring to our planet, asking for a geographical location. The way Blaze is saying it, with an uncapitalized E in Earth, would suggest the ground, meaning where is she, being that she's on the ground. Why wouldn't they go with where in the world am I? Granted, she's not in her world at the moment, but it kind of makes more sense than where am I on the ground.
Oh my god, who the hell cares?
Did you not see her recall the events that led up to this point? If she got engulfed in a light and ended up somewhere foreign, it's understandable why she would assume that she ended up in a different dimension. Plus, we find out in Rush Adventure that Blaze's world is mostly islands. Sonic's world has continents.
Have you decided you want to watch Rick and Morty?
Knuckles,
With me.
I've decided
Yes?
to end your life.
What does that mean? Wait.
Alright, back to what I was doing.
I sense a familiar power. Do you have Chaos Emeralds?
Chaos Emeralds? Are there gems here akin to the Soul Emeralds?
How'd you get them anyhow? Regardless, here's some friendly advice. Give them to Sonic for safekeeping. To Sonic? Bro, you're the guardian of the Master Emerald and can sense chaos energy. Shouldn't you be more qualified? Then again, it did get stolen twice, shattered twice, and completely abandoned while under your care, so maybe Sonic is the best person for the job.
Charriii willingly answers himself cliche.
Oh god, no. Hey, remember the episode 21 where charriii5 gave Liam a single move for Liam answer himself when they do the questions? charriii5 just give him a single move to show his, well, appreciate that Liam actually answer himself, counter his own question. But you give Charriii a sin for the same way Liam did, which is stupid. 100 sins for Gryffindor.
Have you decided you want to watch Rick and Morty?
Knuckles,
With me.
I've decided
Yes?
to end your life.
What does that mean? Wait.
Alright, back to what I was doing.
Sonic, can you tell me what sort of person he is?
Sonic? Well... He's like the wind!
What does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean? Hi, I'm Sonic. I enjoy running through green hills, collecting stuff, saving the world. Oh yeah, I'm also like the wind.
How stupid do you have to be to not understand that Cream is referring to his speed? Like, seriously, even a 5-year-old could figure that one out. The real sin is that Blaze asked about his character and not his abilities, which is what Cream answered.
You had a point until you mentioned Charrie's an idiot. That was double.
Hey Tony.
Yeah. Are you black?
Nope.
Then shut the f*** up, you bleeding idiot! Yeah, you sissy maggot!
But I'm not done yet.
Sounds like Mavis didn't have a good time at the docks.
Well, it's my time to shine.
I'll go and talk to her.
Actually, wait for a bit. Mavis can be a bit hostile when she's angry.
We'll be fighting Mavis.
I'd be careful.
Bring it on.
Okay, Mavis.
Oh.